Okay, you guys are both here. We'll just all sit together. Can I sit
That's
with you?
fabulous.
Let's see if I
Yeah,
can.
we just
Have some tea.
hang on.
Are you guys in two separate rooms?
No, we're
I'll
right
mute
next to each other.
there.
So welcome, you guys. I've got UBKAT and Pixie, and we're going to be talking.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
we're talking in voice, and our avatars are in Second Life at BURN2. And we're currently sitting down and ready to show you a little sneak peek of your build. And we should be talking about that very soon.
Excellent. We're glad to be here in whatever here language we want to translate to.
Right.
Here, there, or
That,
metaversely.
Phyllis, isn't that philosophical? Like, where are we? I find myself quite engaged, and when I have my avatar out and and I'm experiencing Second Life, I really feel like my avatar. I can't change my body, and some people like to change their look because they can, but I feel like that's my identity. How do you feel about it?
I definitely feel that this avatar that I'm looking at right now on the screen
Yeah,
is sort of like an accessory, like a piece of
yeah.
jewelry or a T-shirt or a favorite one, and it's a part of you in a way, but definitely something that you can immerse with and have a totally full, whole experience in virtual reality.
I agree. I really feel like yeah, an accessory is a great explanation of that. And I have not met you in personally. You live nearby me, and we haven't met yet, but I've seen images of your physical self, and you actually do look very similar to your to your avatar. So you've made an effort to do that. I think that's just
Yeah,
kind of neat.
I like self-portrait work too, so I sort of have a little obsession, I guess you could call it, but not in an overly over the top way. I don't think. I try to stay sort of fairly balanced with it, but
Yeah.
yeah, we
So
try.
you guys are BURN2 artists and performers, and we are in Second Life at BURN2, which is a virtual regional of Burning Man, and we are in your plot for October, um, the Great Unknown, our October burn. It's a week-long burn with 12 sims. We've got folks who are building camps, villages, art installations, and we're right now inside of your tent sitting down. I'm panning around to give everybody a little bit of a view of what is going on inside of your art installation or tent or camp. How do you want to be recognized? Is it all of those things or?
I would say that because the theme was the great unknown, both of us really sort of gravitated towards one of our stories that a big city orchestra put together, which is about a person named Odd McOog, and it's called The Mysterious Conundrum of Odd McOog. So, sounds and visuals and cut up books.
Well, I always enjoy your installations, and they're very memorable. And this one, I think, is going to be the same. So let's start a little bit about you, so we can get an idea about you. You're an online radio programmer, also known as a DJ, and you've been doing it for a very long time. So tell us about the kinds of things that you're interested in online, including your radio website.
Oh, radio goes way uh, prior to online.
Yeah, tell us more.
College radio, community stations, KPFA, KGSC, lots of freeform radio.
Freeform radio, different than,
Freeform.
yeah, that's intriguing. And people are like, what is that? Maybe we should explain a little bit. Because you do have a
Where you don't
distinctive
really have a
sound.
program manager telling you what you're going to play.
Right. Okay.
So we would have anything from people telling stories to mashups to spotlights to live performances.
Yeah, and this was all before.
Struggling.
I think you're one of the earlier online radio websites, because there's a lot of that going on right now, online DJing and content creating, and there's a ton of that, and it's really blown up. But your site, if you look at it, and we should maybe even mention the site. It's what's the name of your radio site? We should mention it so people can go look and find it if they're curious.
Sure, and if you're going to be in world for the BURN2 event, the radio network that we are part of are right across from us. They're called DFM Radio Television International, and it's a long history of Amsterdam's Dutch pirate radio. So we have an affiliation with it. It's like a big long network of independent projects and people all over the world. Probably dates back about 30, 40 years by now.
30 or 40 years.
Yeah.
You know, in the technology world, that's a long time.
Certainly is.
Well, it's been pirate radio for a long time.
True. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So it's build week, and people are getting ready. I'm trying not to show too much of other builds, because if I do, I'm ruining the fantastic wonder that when you're on the playa and you get to see everything for the first time. So we're going to probably not get over to the other radio. Is it already set up, or it will be?
It's right now. It's ready to be unveiled. It's not finished, but there's parts and pieces that are going to be going on it very soon.
And this piece has some placeholders in it, so
right,
it's going to be changing too. The posters on the walls and all that, some of them are going to be changing shortly.
Oh, okay. And, so placeholders are just for build week. Happening. Yeah, exactly. It's build week. This is what we do, and we get everything kind of, we test things out and put things out and then change things around and reorganize, and finally our placement team tells us, stop, that's enough. And we're not allowed to do anything anymore. That's on the I believe it's the 8th is the cutoff for builders. Mm-hmm. Oh no, I'm sorry, it might be the 7th, because we open on the 8th.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, so I got that wrong. It's the 7th. I know I need to get over to my build. So we can check that out by looking up, again, it's, tell us one more time, if we wanted to go search for it, we would look up.
So the DFM Radio Television International group, they're going to be right across the way from us next weekend, excuse me, when BURN2 opens. And they're also physically located in Amsterdam, even though we're in California. But we travel over there every couple of years and have, like I said before, like a big network of independent artists. So they are, can we give out URLs in the interview, or?
I think it's enough to where they can probably find it. What we said. But I haven't really, you're my first interview, and I haven't really discovered if that's appropriate or not. I feel like it might be, but just in case, we're going to go ahead and.
Well, keep in mind, it's a Dutch radio station, so the preference would be a .nu. So
okay,
maybe figure it out.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it's searchable. Yeah. I remember actually looking for it myself, so I know it is. I found it that way.
But as always, and Virtual Burning Man, we always have the affiliation with DFM, and pretty much every year that we've done it, I think since 2008 with DFM, we've done the virtual burn.
Okay, so this is a collective of online content creators, DJs, programmers, and you're part of that collective. I remember when I was starting my own radio show, and even I think it was my podcast, maybe, I went to you and I asked you, how do you do your your tech so I could figure it out myself. And you gave me some great tips and pointed out that a lot of the technology that you're using really hasn't changed very much over the years. And
Yeah, that's quite true. I mean, as far as online stuff goes.
yeah, so you don't really need a whole lot of high tech equipment or, you know, high end, expensive online affiliations.
Hmm.
You can do it if you work on it. You can do it yourself. You
Yeah,
know,
actually, quite a bit of our tech is kind of past the pale old computers, but if they're left to do just one thing, they'll do it really well. Like we
yeah.
have one machine that just sends the nice cast to the server in Amsterdam. It just does that. It just records and does nothing else. And
Yeah.
then there's another computer that does the recording with the mixing board. So if you specialize just a little bit, the tech doesn't have to be too overwhelming.
Yeah, you guys accomplish a lot with your skills. I mean, look behind us. We've got this really cool graphic, this old black and white um, telephone operator film screen going on right now. That's pretty neat. And we're able to do that kind of stuff in Second Life. It's so fun, you know, to do all these things. And so you've been going to BURN2 for a long time. This is not your first art installation. And let's remind builders about the other art that they may have actually been to BURN2 and saw your art and didn't know it was you guys. So
Yeah.
maybe describe a couple of your other past builds.
Okay. Yeah, back in 2008, we had the first one that we ever did, which we called it the Temple of Noise. And it was when Burn 2 was, it originally was Burning Life. So
Oh,
we,
wow. That goes way back.
yeah, so we did that for Burning Life. And it was like a dual platform. We tried to make it as realistic as possible with sort of wooden ramps that you could walk up. And we had paintings and collage work. Uh, Das UBKAT does these amazing collages, hand collages, and he's probably got over 100 like physical books here in our um, studio, just of all shapes and sizes and different themes and stuff like that. So we found the most colorful ones we could bring out for that, and we scanned them, and then we brought them into Second Life's platform and made them move, and we made like transparencies and projections and interesting ways to look at the art while we had some of the big city orchestra sounds swirling around the space. So we called it Temple of Noise.
And your music collection is quite eclectic. It's how would you describe your music taste?
Oh, quite a collector.
Eclectic. Very good.
Yeah,
Yes, indeed.
yeah. It's to me, it sounds like unusual combinations of sounds made into music or noise. And when I've heard I've occasionally dropped into your shows a few times, and it's quite unique. It really is, and
Well,
very
thank
artsy
you.
fartsy.
Yes. Well, to be fair, it's not just the two of us most of the time. And well, a lot of the time lately because of COVID, of course. But we have a history of working with other artists and non-musicians and instrument builders, techie people who do circuit bending. So depending on whatever medium we're working in, if it's recorded music or video or outside performance, we usually always have a lot of us doing different things. So it's
Yeah.
ranges. That's why it's so different, and it doesn't really get repeated. Um, I was just going to tell you also another project that people might remember we did in the Burn was the theme Caravansary, which was 2014.
I
We
remember.
actually, yeah, we built a big city orchestra sound installation called In a Persian Market, and it was basically an adaptation of a classical piece that was written in the 1920s that was in the style of Orientalism. So we were really turned on by the caravansary theme and brought that one into virtual, um, with a different type of music than we usually do.
And your
So
art, I believe, had layers of gifts. It was a moving art. It was a flat, like on the wall type of art, or
hmm
displayed. I don't know what you would call that artistically. What's an artist would call it? I guess I would call it flat picture art. I don't know if that's the right term.
that's
But,
okay. It was definitely screen based. It was
there you go, screen based. Yeah,
we were
and they
using
were
second.
animated.
Exactly. And for you Second Life design people out there, we used the animated texture script to get all of those old images. We took I basically converted old film stock from the turn of the century and 20s and stuff like that. Not turn of the century, but 1910, 1920, when they had the original film, and tried to get as many black and white film clips together and then converted them into Second Life animated textures for that exhibit.
Oh, it was awesome. I'm now panning your display cases as well. So we are. Can we hear about the build that's going on this year? I'm going to start out from the beginning outside. And if you were a burner coming out to check out the art, you would enter through a signed entryway. And if you look at the sign, it says Mysterious Conundrum of Odd McUb. How intriguing, bewildering, perplexing, and confusing. Very cool. And it's flashing. Nice. So tell us more about this
So
character.
the mystery around Odd McUb. I mean, we don't even know where Odd McUb is now. It's always been a mystery about Odd McUb. We do have a collection of Odd McUb's cut-up books, which is what we have on display. Some of them. There are many. We don't even have all of them. But yeah, part of the conundrum is who was he? I mean, where is he? So maybe somebody coming to the exhibit can actually play part detective and do some research here.
What do you know? How did you collect the
Yeah,
book?
it's been going on for about, I don't know, 25 years.
So,
uh, or excuse me, UBKAT stumbled onto through some sort of curious letter uh, from the Netherlands. He stumbled onto part of the collection, let's just call it, and it was found in Ghent, in the Netherlands. A big pile of the books were found, so some of them made their way back to us. So we've actually scanned those books. Those are what are on the displays. You can actually rifle through them.
I am. I'm passing through. There's some. So it's handmade, and it's verse with some whiteout bits
Mm-hmm.
to even make it more intriguing.
Yeah, we do know that Odd McGoob did a lot of cut ups. Like he would apparently used a lot of found objects and found books, cutting them up to make
Okay.
these.
I have a feeling that the letter that's been whited out is capital G. What do you think?
Well, I can only guess. Probably it's hard to tell because I mean some of them are very easy to make out, and others look like they've been worn over time. I
Yeah.
mean, depending on where they were found and what materials I guess Odd Magoob was using at the time, they can be very legible or very confusing.
Yeah. And you can almost make it, it's almost like a something where you can look into it like a tarot card or something and come out and discover what it says to you and find meaning in it for
I
yourself.
would love it if people stood in the space over the course of the burn and maybe made some recordings, doing some readings, and
Oh.
that would be awesome if we could have people do that and maybe share them in the space or however. It's pretty much open. That's what we try to just create a very open space for people to either read the books or just sit and listen to the sounds, make poetry. I actually had a poet came running into the tent a couple of nights ago, and we literally, our avatars like collided. It was a kismet, I think.
They were, oh my gosh, look at all this. And they were just mesmerized by the design. I mean, it's quite clever to cut out lines of a book and then layer them.
Subtractive poetry.
Subtractive poetry. Right. Maybe you have a great voice. UBKAT, maybe you can do some reading at the end of our time, and we can hear your wonderful voice narrate some of this if you're game.
I think that'll be part of the installation.
Just grab the Catch a Sound book.
Oh, if we click on the display boxes here, let's hear about these display boxes. So we've got this one called the Curator's Cell, and it's an open book with it looks like some scientific stuff going on, but odd scientific stuff, like the people are the objects almost. Very interesting. It's an art museum of modern medicine. So these are also assembled by Odd McUb.
If you have your sound turned on, you might be able to press one of the buttons.
I do not, but let me set that up. Hold on here. I'm gonna see if I can make it happen. Let me see if I can stand by, burners, while I get that to happen. I have to. So what do I click on?
There's a panel of buttons below the books.
Below the books, a panel of buttons.
Over where UBKAT.
Oh, okay. I see the buttons on the other side. Gotcha. So I'm going to click. I'm going to turn my sound way up.
And it's good if you stand by the object or pan in your cam.
Yeah, I'm panning in, and I'm going to turn on my view. So I'm ready. I'm going to click a button. Okay, here we go.
Would you like to work in an art museum? Art museums collect works of art and display them for people to see.
There you go.
The librarian is in charge of the public dissections. He or she has studied to be a librarian and has also studied art history.
Oh, and then you've got some soundscape in the back as well, some music soundscape.
Everyone you love is going to die. No one knows when, but there is no doubt about it.
Oh.
Death is so
Only
funny.
as you face the reality of your own death, these familiar things around you explode into vivid interest.
So these are readings from the book.
Way to accept the reality of death is to meet the particular needs of the mysterious intruder.
I'm going to play that again.
A civilized way to accept the reality of death is to meet the particular needs of the mysterious intruder.
Oh, very cool. If this was at Black Rock City, people would have a lot of fun with this. We're going to have a lot of fun with this.
Good. I'm glad. Well, we liked the idea of going to Burning Man with a bunch of books and seeing how many people would actually read them.
Yeah. How would you know?
It's true. Well, maybe they would have a story to tell.
Yeah. I'm going to turn off my all my buttons and gizmos so the view is cleaner. And tell us about the yellow in halcyon years between 1911 and 1918. Odd McUb left his hometown of Sugar Shack, Pennsylvania, and sent his family to Ghent in the Netherlands. While there, he would prowl the local bookstores for any tombs he could find that were published in English. Tombs. At this time, though, his new homeland was preoccupied with other things than the written word. Rapidly running out of reading material, he would spend months at his drawing board cutting up his few books in an attempt to create new works for himself to read. Many of these early works have since landed in the collections of antiquarian books dealers throughout Europe. Upon his death in 1986, it was found that all of his creative output had been willed to a small distributor of eccentric art pieces called
It's okay. Ubu Ibi.
Ooh, after more than a decade of protracted legal battles with the living descendants, the court ruled that although quite mad, Odd's last wishes were to be carried out. At this point, UBE commissioned BCO to bring these bring to life these works by the master conceptually incoherent cut-ups. Enjoy. All right. So this is it's it's like a found collection of art, and it looks like there's dealers who are very interested in getting access to this. They want the artists, people who enjoy this kind of thing are rappling over it. Is that what's happening? And there's
Again, the books that we have anyway sort of made their way to us. I think that piece that you were reading seems to be outdated because we did receive a notification in the late 1990s that apparently there was a false
noise.
death report. So we
Mhm.
have a certificate that
So
says that the death
mysterious.
report was falsified.
So mysterious.
It is.
It's like social media, good social media is about not just posting stuff but telling stories in the post. And this person really knew what they were doing before that was even created, wasn't it? I mean, didn't he? It's like
It's a guess. It really is. I mean, maybe he's a time traveler. I don't
don't you
know.
want to know more,
Definitely, definitely.
I do. I'm going to have to do some research about this online as well. I bet there's some stuff on there.
Excellent. That sounds like a plan.
Yeah. So let's see. Did we? Now, what can you share about our community? What do you like about BURN2? Let's finish off with a little bit about our community that we have, which is a regional of Burning Man, just like any other regional. We have a community and we have our culture. What do you like about our community, our culture, and BURN2?
I really love the participation aspect. People that are maybe have never done certain things before will find themselves doing them or being asked to participate or having others participate. That to me spells community in so many ways. The engagement, the helpfulness, the eagerness, the willingness to just join in at the drop of a hat. I always find people at these burns every time that even if they've never been to one in physical space, they get the principles, they get the underlying aspects that bring us all here, and just a lot of times, especially the early builds that I was doing, I could just walk out onto the playa during build week, and if I was struggling with something, whether it be a script or a problem with my build, I would bump into somebody within 5 to 10 minutes and end up having a great conversation about it. And wouldn't you know, they would be like, "Oh, I know the right person for you to help you." And yeah, that kind of collaboration is just, I love it. We both do.
Yeah, that to me is priceless, isn't it?
Priceless. Definitely.
It's because look at the creativity and the art that you've created is just amazing. And thank you so much for all the years of amazing art and music. Are you going to do any performances throughout the week? How can we? What do we need to know about that so we don't miss anything?
Sure. Well, on the Saturday that the festival opens, the DFM group that we're with, there's going to be a big party on the camp across the way there. There may be a couple of us that take on something on one of the signups on the BURN2 stages. We haven't done that yet just because we've been so busy with the build and getting things ready. But the DFM camp across the way, so that'll be on the 9th. We'll have sort of like an all day or half day long DJs and multimedia stuff going on over there. And then our other activities that UBKAT and I we're going to do a couple of specials, actually, radio specials, but BURN2 radio specials. And those will also be on the DFM stage across the way. One of them is going to be a tribute to Fela Kuti. So it'll be really lively and colorful. And if you like Fela, which I don't see why you wouldn't,
I do.
Come and dance and have a great time doing that. And then at the closing end, we're going to do another special, which will be all the music of Sparks.
I don't know about Sparks. Is that a band?
Yeah, check them out.
All right. So this is, we can find, if you end up on the stages are all part of the website's Google Calendar. And by the way, people can put that, the Google, what they're interested in, they can add their, the schedule list, what they would like to remember, they can put it into their Google Calendar. There's a way to click on the calendar and add a performance, like a shift, so to speak,
right.
To your own Google Calendar, if they want to. So that's how we can find you. And then so on Saturday, which region are we in again? This one is? This
is Chimera.
Okay, Chimera. We have 11 sims plus Deep Hole, which is our sim that we have all year long. And so if they wanted to find you, they would find you in Chimera.
Correct.
And what I can do actually is maybe even put the slurl into the description. You'll give that to me later and I'll put it in.
Sure will. Happy to.
Yeah. Okay. And anything else we need to know? I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, we really did cover a lot of ground. I wanted to say, because you did ask me before the interview, you asked, besides what we like about the community, what can we share to inspired artists who are considering coming out to BURN2 as far as a creator space? And I definitely want to say, like, don't be afraid. It can be intimidating if you're an artist and you've never used the tool set in the platform of Second Life, but don't be afraid to dive in, especially during the burns or even when there's other BURN2 activities, because there's so many ways you can do workshops and meet people that will help you, especially during the burn. But also visual artists, multimedia artists, you will find that there's so many facets of ways to use and manipulate your ideas and get them into the virtual space. You'll just surprise yourself and hopefully others. So go for it.
If you've ever thought about an art build that would be too expensive or too grand to make physically, you can do it very inexpensively, I think, here.
For sure. Definitely.
Or shall we say there?
Yes.
Or here, or there.
There we go again. That's how we started at the
for talking with us. Thank you for your wonderful art. I'm sure we're going to really have fun exploring it, and we'll see you out in the playa.
It sounds great. Thanks so much, Suze.
We'll be in the van.
We'll be in the van, right?
Yeah, we've got our minibus parked out back here.
I'll be back there for a cocktail later.
Excellent. We'll see you there.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.